Here's a quick tour of where we are with the electrical stuff. Thanks to David Hume, we've got a new fuel pump, and I have that connected to the existing wiring, which I believe to be correct because now when I turn on the key, it does cycle for about a second and a half or so, uh, and so that seems to be the desired outcome. Uh, in here, I have put back together most of the console. Um, the radio works, back speakers and the driver's side front speaker. None of the, well, I haven't connected any of the lights over here yet. I want to keep that off for now. But the rest of the wiring through all of this looks to be unmolested at this point. So I'll probably put the dash all back together here when I get a chance. Some of these switches are non-standard, and I believe that I've heard that is not completely abnormal. This toggle switch here is probably a defeat switch for the air conditioning, and then this up-down switch I'm guessing is for the antenna, and it is connected to some wiring that goes back down through underneath here to a what do you call it, like an odd shaped relay. Anyway, when we go through, we'll figure out if everything works, including for right now the driver's side window switch works and the motor works. The passenger side switch does not work, so I'll have to pull that out and see what's going on there. Heading over to this side of the car, we've got these two main harnesses, and then this is not connected, and I don't know if that goes to the power antenna, but I'll figure that out later. I think this looks to be an antenna connection. Anyway, this part of the loom leads up here. This guy here is a dead end now because that was operating the aftermarket fuel pump, and they just ran it up along that side. So if we follow this through, it leads to this, which is high and low beam for the headlights. A couple of taped up things I have to correct that are kind of just barely connected. And then we've got this end. I don't know what that goes to. Got this coming off here, which I'm not really sure what that is supposed to go to either. It does have a couple non-standard looking connectors, and then what does that say? Relay to wiper, I think. That's with a question mark. Then this goes up and across the front of the dash. Here's our main positive. So the big one goes back to the starter, which is fine. This guy goes, I believe, under to the starter as well, and probably to the ignition switch. I should probably track that one all the way across. Just staying at the front. Let's see. This guy coming up under here, not sure what that's for quite yet. This guy circles back to where we were earlier. And then this one, I don't know what that is either. They added a separate ground, and so this big old ground is connected to one of the cylinder head bolts back here, and then leads over and grounds to the chassis here. The other ground here, I think, is kind of the standard way to do it, leading to the negative battery terminal and just grounds out there. Headed across the front, Again, got to diagnose or figure out where this guy goes, but it has a little fuse that they just taped in line. That might be to engage the starter, now that I think more about it. The fans, when I got the car, these were just snipped connectors. I did add connectors to them, so I got to figure out where the wires for the fans go. Let's start over this way. So the main harness coming out of the driver's side firewall, we've got all these connections which are intact and look fine. This guy was the one for the aftermarket fuel pump, which I've now cut, and I'll just get rid of that. This other guy very well might be for the starter. Yes, indeed it is. So that goes all the way around here. Yep, and is for the starter solenoid. So I'm not sure why they did it that way, but that's where it is. So anyway, following the main harness, we've got all the fuses, and I did go through and clean all the fuse connections for what good that is. Main harness comes out under here. There's these two big connectors here which look to be pretty much everything intact. Then we head up across here. This guy we talked about earlier. These go down into these